hooked up to the right stuff. Right there. Testing, testing. Oh, yep, looks like I've got audio. Looks like I've got audio coming through YouTube. Looks like I've got a little audio coming through Discord. Zoom. All right. Here we go. We are kicking off this week. Happy Monday. Looks like one of my mics doesn't want to connect, but we've got my backup mic connected to pretty much everybody right now. So we are ready to rock and roll. Moving a few things around here so that I can see what I'm doing. All right. Well, welcome out. It is, what is today? The 9th? Yeah, February 9th. We are rocking and we are rolling this morning. Welcome to an onboarding session with Bookmap. We are excited to have you. Welcome to Bookmap. This session is specifically designed for somebody who is brand new to Bookmap. You know, we're going to be talking about setting up your Bookmap, launching your Bookmap, different things of that nature. There we go. We are kicking off, like I say, we are kicking off Bookmap, our Bookmap onboarding session. Welcome out. Because we do get to work on some of the charts a little bit, always make sure that we start off with our general disclosures. Trading always involves risk, and everything we do in life involves risk. Walking across the street involves risk. Um, and so always remember that trading involves risk. Always practice good risk management. Should be part of your trading plan. If you don't have a trading plan, I really recommend actually taking the time to build one out so that you can have some of that consistency with your risk management. And nothing that we're doing in here is advice. It is all just helping you get set up on your platform. Also, there is a difference between hypothetical and real, especially when it comes to trading. You know, always understand that the simulated accounts are great for learning how to use the platform, but there's a lot that you deal with inside of real trading that you don't deal with in simulated trading. So always keep that in mind when you are progressing and moving, like if you're trying to make the jump from a simulated account to a live account. Oh, am I still getting no sound on YouTube? Hang on one sec. Let me check my YouTube connection. It's got a message that I don't have sound on YouTube.
Hey Ryan, do you want to just bring your OBS onto screen? I'll quickly take a look for you.
It says I have sound. Still no sound down?
So we've got desktop audio, but not mic audio. So if you can just bring your OBS onto screen. So it's just that the volume in YouTube is really low, is all.
All right, just reset my audio. For our YouTubers. Hopefully that works. Dan is on it. Dan's in here supporting us today, so even as you guys have questions, he will. He's usually all over popping up and answering those pretty quickly, as well as in this case letting me know that my mic wasn't working. But I just reset it on YouTube, so hopefully that takes care of it there, and we are good to go in all on all formats. One of my favorite things that we get to do in this session is go through what is hiding behind the candlesticks, which is another way of saying, why is Bookmap so amazing? Because it gets to show you what is hiding behind the candlesticks. You know, Bookmap was created to really level the playing field. You no longer have to work on Wall Street to really get access to the entire market. Okay, thanks. Dan, Dan's coaching me along today. All right, all right. Yeah, so you no longer have to work on Wall Street to get access to the full market, where before you really either had to work on an exchange, you had to be a clerk, you had to work for a financial institution. You no longer have to do that as long as you have Bookmap. Now, one of the interesting things is the markets are controlled by supply and demand. This is one of the things my mentor taught me. He was a floor trader forever at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. He had 2 seats on the CME, and he was on the committee that created the S&P 500 futures contract. And he used to always tell me that I was trading backwards. He would say, "You're always buying when you should be selling. You're always selling when you should be buying." And he would. I remember one day him saying, "But it's really not your fault. That's how most people trade. He says it's the only market you've ever been exposed to." One of the interesting things about the market and it being controlled by supply and demand is institutions control on average about 80% of the market liquidity. Retail traders control about 20%. And so what that means is essentially if it's a supply and demand world, meaning if there's more buyers than sellers, price goes up, and if there's more sellers than buyers, price goes down. The retail traders essentially can be at the mercy of the banks and institutions. And and if you were to take this down situationally, and you were to go to a price point where we would say, what would be the number? If you were to go to a price point where the institutions were looking to buy, 100,000 shares of something, these numbers would get very, very skewed, right? These numbers would be 99.9% would be the banks, and one and and 0.01 would be the retail traders. In those situations, these numbers are the numbers spread out over the market's entirety. But with that, if we were with them controlling even 80% of the liquidity, if we're buying when a bank or an institution is selling, it's a lot like standing in front of this truck right here. Not only are they huge, but they're also very, very consistently profitable. So this is some information from Goldman Sachs annual report in 2024. We'll get their 2025 numbers in about 2 months. But here's their 2024. And in 2024, Goldman Sachs was profitable 93% of the time, and they had 62 days where they made over $100 million a day. So not only are they huge as far as market share, but they also are consistently profitable. So if we are trading against them, if we're buying when they're selling, that is not a winning strategy. Unfortunately, that is a very costly and a very common mistake that a lot of traders make. Now, what if you could copy the smartest kid in school? Because Bookmap helps you see what the smartest kid already knows. Now, we don't predict the future with anything in here, and I think that's probably one of the things a lot of traders make a mistake in doing is they try to predict the future. In here, we just follow the liquidity. So with Bookmap, you're able to see the order flow, and you just follow the liquidity. Like if you were sitting next to the smartest kid in school and you were copying their quiz, you wouldn't try to predict their answers. That would completely go against the whole reason why you were copying them. You follow the leader. Now, my mentor who was the trader on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange used to tell me stories about how they would try to copy the smartest kid in school. And the smartest kid in school was the banks and institutions. He would tell stories about how they would try to sneak back into the clerk's offices, bringing them breakfast, saying good morning, going in chat, because if they could get back there, the clerks, they were always organizing their desk with the stacks of institutional buy and institutional sell orders. I always pictured that it looked like something like this. On the desk, they would have all their big sell orders at the high prices, all their big buy orders at the low prices. And as an independent trader, if you could see the stacks of buy orders and stacks of sell orders, you essentially knew the low and you knew the high for the day before the market ever opened up. And so you could come in and just buy when the institutions buy and then sell when the institutions sell. When the market goes up and price comes down, there's buy orders and sell orders all through the market. And let's just say those orders got wiped out by sell orders. but it gets all the way down to this big stack. It gets all the way down to this big stack of buy orders here where there's 12, as you can see, there's 12, let me get my little pointer going. As there's 12 buy orders and there's 4 sell orders. Now, the market's whole purpose is just to fill these orders. It's to connect buyers with sellers, right? It's to connect buyers with sellers. So that's what the market does. And now all of a sudden, those orders don't exist anymore. Those orders do not exist anymore. They were filled, they get registered as volume, and unfortunately, filled orders is pretty much all that retail traders get access to. But as you can see right here, filled orders don't have anything to do really with price change in the market. The fact that we have a net result of 8 and 0, if you remember we started at 12 and 4, now we're at 8 and 0. As soon as one of these components gets to 0, that's when price changes. Right? So price comes down, it hits this 71 stack, it fills 4 of those orders, it takes out all the supply, and since there is unfilled orders left behind and they're on the buy side, price goes higher, right? And it's these unfilled orders that actually control the market. Now you can see we have our prices right here running nicely from left to right, but that's not how we trade. That's how the desk was, the clerk's desk back in the day, but that's not how we trade. How we trade is vertically, right? We have our price action that goes vertically. So I did a little squiggly line here to kind of show you a price chart, but all of the low prices here, all the high prices here. And that's because institutions always focus on a very firm fundamental principle of buy low and sell high. Where when I was first working with my mentor, he used to show me, oh, you're waiting for it. He used to say, oh, you're waiting for an uptrend. That means you're buying here. That means you're buying near these stacks of sell orders. Oh, you're waiting for a crossover in an indicator. That means you're buying here. That means you're buying near these stacks of sell orders. Oh, you're waiting for price to be above a moving average. Oh, that means you're buying up here. That means you're buying close to these stacks of sell orders. And so I remember him walking me through like why he said I was trading backwards. It's because I was buying when institutions were selling. And same thing on the sell side, right? Same thing on the sell side. If I'm waiting for price to come down and be in a downtrend or something to cross over, all of a sudden I'm selling down here next to all these buy orders. And it's a common trap for retail traders to trade in if all you've ever studied is conventional technical analysis. You know, here is a classic conventional chart with a bunch of indicators and a bunch of lines on it. But as you can see, kind of all of that, like if I draw a line through the center of this, as far as like where most of these averages are all clustered, if we're buying above moving averages, which even if you slow that down, buying above an average price, that's retail where we really want to be buying wholesale prices. Buy low, sell high. Now, what if we could overlay the clerk's desk onto our chart? That would be pretty awesome. Remember that clerk's desk where they stack all the pending orders that are waiting to be filled? What if we could overlay that on our chart? Well, we can, and that is called the Bookmap Heatmap. I've even lined it up so it lines up with a big stack of buy orders right here and a big stack of sell orders right here. As you can see, we have our desk, our clerk's desk over here. Now, we know this is a sell order, and we know these are buy orders because these on the passive side of the order flow, these are limited orders. And so up in here, anything above current price would have to be a limit order, and anything below current price would have to be a buy order. We can see we have this nice big stack represented by our heat map, a nice big stack of buy orders. The darker the color, the bigger the stack of orders. So Bookmap and the heat map specifically is pretty much like having an X-ray machine for your candlesticks, right? We get to see what's actually going on. Most charts like this just show you filled orders. This is all filled orders right here, right? Nowhere on here does it show us the unfilled orders, and the unfilled orders are actually what control the market. But again, that's why we created the Bookmap heat map. It's also why those other charts are free. They don't really show you anything. My mentor used to say that the average retail trader only has access to about 5% of the market. And that's one of the reasons why we kind of make so many wrong decisions. All right, let's get you logged into Bookmap. and get us going. Let's go ahead and log into Bookmap. This is a great spot if you want to follow along. Feel free to follow along. Make sure I'm all right. Yeah, if you want to follow along here, this is a great place where you can come in and mirror. We click on this login button and let's get everybody going. You've probably already done this, but just in case, I'm going to start us always at square one. Click on login. You're going to have your username and password. And first thing it's going to do is take you to our portal. Our portal is where you have the our portal is where you have your license key, and inside here is where you can actually go and select your system. Are you on Windows? Are you on Mac? And then also your, whoops, I clicked the wrong button. There we go. Windows or Mac, and then also uh, what version. Always just select the production version. There's going to be a few things in there that are um, beta or alpha, things like that when there's stuff that we're working on. But make sure you always select the production version so that you have the latest and greatest version of Bookmap. From here, we're going to click that big download button, right? We're going to get that installer going. Uh, Now, before we jump out onto Bookmap itself, got to make sure we have our data subscription set up. On Bookmap, to get access to the liquidity, to get access to all of this order flow, there are two separate subscriptions that you need. The first subscription is for Bookmap. You know, which Bookmap platform are you using? You can see we've got Digital Plus, we've got Global Plus, and we've got Global that we have listed out here. And then you have monthlies and annual subscriptions to them. If you're just on the plain digital, that's only going to cover cryptocurrency, and it will only ever be delayed. And so you want to get onto Digital Plus, Global, or Global Plus. I am on Global Plus, and so that's some of the stuff that you're going to see here today, like a couple of things that Global Plus does, where you're able to like trade on the screen. Those are, you know, there's a few big bells and whistles that make Global Plus, in my mind, the best. But if you're trading cryptocurrency, then you can be on Digital Plus. But if you want access to futures and equities, futures or equities, then you have to be on Global or Global Plus. Again, Global Plus, you can trade right from Bookmap. Global, you're just using Bookmap as an analysis tool, and you're putting your orders in to your normal or your current broker interface. The other thing you need is you need your data connection. You know, what are you going to be trading? You need to get access to that. So here are all the data connections that you can select from. Also, if you have Rhythmic or something like that from a current provider, you're able to connect. Usually, you're able to connect that. Now, if you're not sure what data you're going to need, here's a little cheat sheet. Here's a little cheat sheet. So here's a little cheat sheet so you can take a screenshot of this and get connected to the right data feed for whatever it is you're trading. Now, the next thing is we have to install and we have to run Bookmap. So we've already downloaded the installer. Let's go over to the magical button. We'll click on it, and we will run those fun setup wizards where we get to click next, 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 and we get to click agree and things like that. And eventually we are left with this, right? And we are now launching Bookmap. Bookmap, again, simulation mode where you're not trading with real money. There's a trading mode, and then there's replay mode. Replay mode is really cool. You can actually have you can record a live session, and then you can go back and retrade it. So you can like practice your rules or practice your execution on a specific scenario. You also can go back in and look at like why you did things and how you did things, and see like did you follow your trading plan, right? So you can even use that as like an accountability tool. Let's open us up real quick, and we will connect to data and add some symbols. So when you launch Bookmap, you're usually going to have three symbols already running. You're going to have like Bitcoin and Apple and the S&P. Bitmap, Bitcoin, Apple, and the S&P. taken those all down in here so that we're just starting from the very, very beginning. And you can see right here, I've highlighted with this green box, it's telling me like you are not connected to any platform. Here's how you do that. And so I will walk you through that. Because even if you're setting up a data feed and a new connection right now, you're going to want to go through these steps just to make sure everything is connected. Every now and then I'll have somebody say that they're not getting like a full visual of a heat map or something like that. And it's usually because these connections aren't turned on. So if you go up to connection and then go to configure, it's going to bring up our configuration portal where we can now add our data to our platform. We're going to scroll down and find our Bookmap data, and we're going to hit install. It says you are the best installer ever. We say thank you, and then we hit OK. You can see now that Bookmap is installed. It's up under the installed category. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and then it will show me that my platform is here, but I need to create the final connection. So this allows us to connect it. We say OK, there we go. We have our Bookmap platform, we have our connection name, and we are connected to a server location called Auto. You can manually select what server you want to be connected to, but if you always just pick Auto, it will target you and then figure out which is the best server for you so you have the fastest data transfer. Up here is also where I can sign into really any of the other data sources that I want. I can sign in with Interactive Brokers, I can sign into Rhythmic. You just click up there, scroll down, find your connection, and then use your credentials to connect. All right, we've got our platform set up. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And then I always want to jump up here and just make sure that I've enabled it. You see right here, there's no check mark, and we want a check mark. There we go. Now our platform is enabled, and we will have this beautiful plus sign. This beautiful plus sign is the button that you click on when you want to add a symbol to do some research on. So we come up here, we click on that button, there we go, we click on the button, and all of a sudden we're selecting stocks, the NASDAQ exchange, and we are trading Apple, right? For example, if we were trading the S&P 500, we would come in and say, okay, we click the plus sign, and then we'd say futures, CME, and ES. Now this button right here, subscribe, that is what connects your platform with the actual data that is your chart. So when you click that, the other words for that would be like launch or load, right? But you just click on that subscribe button and our chart pops up. Now this is a screenshot to make this stuff move all smooth, but you start to see it populating from here and working its way across. Now for me, I am on Global Plus. So one of the first things that I like to do is come up here and right click. Right? If I come up here and right click, it's going to give me a bunch of options. And one of the things I like to add is the depth of market. And so I'm going to click on depth of market, trading DOM, and that is going to bring me up a few options. And I'm going to click on add default columns, and then my platform will look like this. I like to have the DOM up because I like to trade from it. I can click buy and sell orders over here. It'll show me my buy and sell orders. I have my volume for the session, and then I have the trading desk for the clerk, right? This is my order book right here. So this is just that clerk's desk, but it's now standing vertically as we had it earlier. And now, before we can get trading, one of the things that we have to do is we have to turn on our trade control panel. So we come up here, click that button, scroll down. We can trade on the chart, or we can trade on the DOM, or we can trade on both. I always just say just select both. And then the next thing you have to make sure is that you have a quantity. If you try to trade with a zero quantity, it won't let you. So you have to have a quantity selected. So we will add one right there. Now that we have one selected, we can come over here and we can click on a sell order. We can click and create a buy order. It all happens very, very easily. Once we have that buy order, it will display on the screen. It'll display on my depth of market. But just clicking over here can create us a buy order. Now, if you click on the chart here, you click or you shift click to create an order depending on the order type. everything's all, and so up to that point, now we have everything. Now we have everything connected on the Bookmap side of things, and your platform would be rolling. If you want to add more, symbols, you simply click on this plus sign right up here, right? And now we can add more platforms. Under settings, you can configure everything. You can change things. You can make your heat map lighter or darker right here. You can always right click on your chart and you could add candlesticks if you wanted to see the candlestick overlay, which kind of makes it hard to see all the volume dots, but it's all in there if you so choose. Let's jump into some of the resources now. Get you guys on your way. We've got what, an hour or so before really all the action kicks off. Um, we have a ton of support resources. Back inside of your portal. If you go up to the education tab and you click on it, it'll take you to our learning center. Where you really should start is right here on our Getting Started course. Getting Started has about 20 different lessons in it. They're about 2 minutes long each. Some of them we have now covered in here as far as running Bookmap, getting it set up, basic data connections, things like that. But then there's a number of different lessons in here that we have not gotten to around heat map or volume dots and things like that. So they're about 2 minutes long each. You can really cruise through some great content that'll really help you with your Bookmap right in here. And even if you have some questions on something, you can come right back into here and there's usually an answer for it. Or you can connect with us on Discord or connect with us through help at support at Bookmap. The next thing to do is to scroll just down a little bit, and you go to our market mechanics session. There's about 4 hours worth of information here, which these 4 hours will get you thinking and looking at the markets very, very differently. These are led by Bruce, who's our Chief of Education. This is phenomenal. Having taken so many courses on trading, one of my first reactions to this was that it should cost $3,000 or $4,000, and but it is free to you as a user of Bookmap. Yeah, so the DOM, the add on the DOM is, I will back up a little bit. You right click on your column all the way to the right, and you can add it there. So it is right there. Yeah, you go up there. You can click on any one of these columns up here, but you just right click up here and bring down these options, right? And then I add my default column. So you right click up at the top, and it'll bring you up all these different options of volume, trade counter, different things, and that is where you add your depth of market. Where were we? Market mechanics? Yeah, we were at market mechanics. Now, after going through the market mechanics, and it's not like you have to wait to go through market mechanics to do this, because you should do this very quickly too. We have this community tab up at the top here. And even in the portal, there's when you log in, there's a button that says join Discord or something like that. But under community, you would want to select Discord. And like I say, I think there's something that says join Discord, like right on the portal page. But so inside of Discord, you get access to our Discord server where we're running tons of events, tons of courses, professional traders galore are in here holding sessions. As you can see, when I took this screenshot, we had 28 events on the calendar. One of the first ones I always tell everybody to get access to, click on that, scroll through and find the All Markets Live. All Markets live order flow sessions. These happen 3 times a week, and like if you're dealing with any trading issues, this is a great place to go in and bounce some ideas off of Bruce. Show him what you've been working on. He's able to give you input on it, as well as the main focus of analyzing the overall markets and the order flow, the live order flow inside of our major markets. But these happen every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. You want to go in, click on that, scroll down, and find each one. Click interested, and away you will go. We also have tons of competitions that we're always doing in here. Not only is there a ton of support, but there's also a ton of fun inside of these sessions. And right now there's one going on that is a show your best trade, where if you share your trade in social media, um, they go through and they find the best trade. They send you out one of these sweaters, and you also get there's all sorts of other prizes that they throw into it. I think that right now it's 90 days of Global Plus also gets included for you. So there's always a ton of fun stuff, a ton of community going on, a ton of education going on in there. Everything that we do at Bookmap, from whether it's a platform upgrade to bringing in professional traders who use Bookmap, everything we do is designed to help you as the trader have a stronger edge inside of the market. Oh yeah, and Dan just posted, yeah, you get a hoodie and 90 days of Global Plus oh yeah, that's right, it's with data, with stocks or futures data. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, the competitions are really fun. And right now there's actually another competition that they're outlining that's going to be a longer term one. So you're going to want to be on Discord so you don't miss out for that. It's going to be a ton of fun. All right. We are 33 minutes in. This usually takes about a half hour. Thank you everybody for jumping on today. We were able to cover some of the basics and getting Bookmap started and show you some of the resources. Excuse me. If you're not on Discord, really, really make sure that you get onto Discord. That is where, like I say, we have so much going on. That's where you can have a lot of access to us with quick questions, things like that. But also, we run these if you need to jump back into one of these. But do make sure you get into Discord where we can start working together and have you join the trading community. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy trading. May all your trades be green. And I will see you all in another session in the Discord very, very soon. Have a great day.